Good morning, everybody. Shift Your Mindset here with a new episode, and today's episode will be small changes can add up to big results. Why that? Because there are some small changes in the JW religion. The latest one is that we can toast. A few people said to me, no big deal. It's only a small thing. It's not a blood doctrine. It's not Christmas, birthdays. Why Jehovah's Witnesses are separated from the world. It's not a big change. Shunning isn't going away. So what do you care about it? And I was thinking about it because it's an interesting subject. Why? Because small changes can add up to big results. A small change is, for example, toasting. A small change was that you can have a beard, that you can wear pants, that you can write on your report that you're active in the ministry, that you don't have to count for hours. Small changes, nothing big, religion stays the same, but is that true, people? Is that true? I think it's not true. So, I did a video about the toasting. I didn't realize in all the things about Jehovah's Witnesses, I didn't think about toasting anymore. It was insignificant. It was not on my radar. But that small last change they made this week can have a big result. Why? Let's see. It was linked to pagan customs. It was for self-glorification. It was not modest. It was not spiritually clean in a Jehovah-approved sense. So, think about, for example, the toasting. You avoided SJW toasting. Maybe on your workplace. Maybe during Christmas time. During a birthday or whatever. You are the one who set out of a wedding tradition, workplace celebration. You felt awkward from the others who did that. Or you thought they were judging you, and in a sense of way they were. Because you had to tell, no, it's a pagan custom. Just every time like birthdays, we had to explain ourselves. No, that has pagan roots, so I'm not celebrating it, and it's not in the Bible. See this scripture, blah, 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 blah. Then that old broken record, you rehearsed, you played it. So now it's not a moral issue anymore. The policy has changed. Now it's a matter of conscience. Now it's up to the individual suddenly. And that is a prime example of cognitive dissonance in action. Because your old belief is gonna clash with that new information. And I call it new information because it is information, but it's not in your mind yet. So you had a firm old belief that toasting was bad, but now there is new information. And that new information is now getting processed, but it hasn't taken form and shape in your mind. It's not a belief at the moment. And that's what the cognitive dissonance is doing now to you. why did I miss out on so many moments in the past? Because I defended my religion in my workplace. I set out those weddings without toasting. Maybe I lost job opportunities because of it. Or it was awkward during family events. If you have worldly family and you go out to dinner with each other and they make a toast and you sit there and don't raise your glass. So, was it actually wrong? What did I miss out if it was not wrong? And that's where your mind now, the mind of the JWs, is going into a tug of war. Because on the other side, they still have that deeply conditioned, imprinted belief of that it's not right and now suddenly it is right. And that's cognitive dissonance in actions. And there's a lot of things that's going on. You have a lot of emotional reactions at the moment in this particular thing. Why? First one, confusion. Was the original teaching wrong? If it was wrong, how can I trust the new one? That's a good question of your mind. Was that teaching wrong? I say yes. There was no scriptural base for it. There was nothing that was written in the Bible about it. How can I trust that new one? If someone lied to me, how can I trust him the next time that he's not lying again to me? That he's now speaking the truth? You see, you are fragile in your mind. You're cautious, but also you're confused. Also, you have a lot of regret now as a JW. Why? Because you lost maybe connection with people, or you miss out on joy at certain moments. Special moments. Moments you never get back in life. Your friend's wedding. Something else. A good time with your friends. And someone raised his glass and said, "To our friendship." You missed out on all those moments. Moments who never get back. Who you never get back. So, maybe anger. Maybe you feel betrayed. I believe the governing body. I feel manipulated now. And that's where the gold is for people like you and me who are watching, who are former Jehovah's Witnesses. Because these small things can lead up to big things. That people start their critical thinking. And I applaud that. Sorry. Why? Because it's normal that you feel betrayed. For as long as I'm living, it's not okay to toast. It was not okay to have a beard or to wear pants. And suddenly it is okay. And they call it new light. But how many times do they have to call it new light before something in your mind is getting activated? That critical thinking that you think, I believe them, and every time they change something, I missed out so many moments. I did it like they wanted me to do, and now suddenly they do a 180 and now it's allowed. What's more not okay in this organization? So it can be a liberation feeling also for you as someone who's watching now, because you can rethink now more things. Maybe you can trust yourself. And that's the most important thing that I want to give to a Jehovah's Witness at this moment. Is that you feel confident in trusting yourself. You have feelings, you have gut feelings. I always questioned the elders, the governing body, whoever set the policies in the congregations at the time, about the beard thing. I said, you paint, draw Jesus in the magazines with a beard. But in that time it was normal. Now it's not normal, and but it never made sense to me. Never. The explanation I got never made sense. And that's why you never should abandon your gut feelings. Don't put them aside. Don't shove them aside. Don't park them. Stay connected with your feelings, because you know, if there's a God, He gave us a moral compass of good and bad, what's right and what's wrong. You know that it's wrong to kill somebody. Why? Because that's something in you, in your DNA, that's moral compass that guides you through life. You know when someone wants to take advantage of you. That you are too weak to do something about it is another story. But you know that there is something wrong. You know when you enter a room sometimes that there are tensions between certain people in that same room. You don't see it, but you feel it. You feel, oh, brother complains a lot, has something with brother, wants to be always right. You feel that, but the whole thing is that the leaders of the Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower want you to shut down your feelings. They don't want people who feel that there's something wrong with the teaching, that there's something wrong with the policy, that there is something wrong with what they are saying. Now the big thing what they do is, we are the governing body, you just have to obey us and follow us, even if it doesn't make sense. Those things they now doing are prime examples of things that don't make sense at all. Why should you change that policy, certainly, and leave it up to the individual? So, they want you to be stuck in the past. They want you to be stuck in just following orders. But these things give emotional reactions, and that's why they slip up. That's where they drop the ball, in my opinion. Because it's normal to have anger. It's normal to feel some liberation. Oh, now I can rethink about more things. What they are saying doesn't feel good to me. Let's research that. Where is that scriptural base for this thing? Where can I find something that supports what they are saying? And if it doesn't support anything, then you can rethink about that also. So, 4 questions maybe we as former Jehovah's Witnesses can ask the people who are still in that religion. If it was a pagan or worldly practice then, why is it okay now? Because I saw the governing body update, but it doesn't make sense. What Stephen Lett was saying doesn't make sense at all. What else have I accepted without questioning? And if someone is honest, and if we are honest to ourselves and we think our life as a Jehovah's Witness back, we accepted everything almost without questioning. 3rd question, was it really Jehovah's direction, or was it just human rules? and if you are coming to the conclusion that it is human rules, then you also can see that the governing body isn't Jesus' mouthpiece or Jehovah's mouthpiece on earth. That it's just men who are interpreted certain things in a certain way for their own benefit. So do you need an organization to obey God or to worship God or Jesus? Answer is no. Am I allowed to trust my own conscience now? That's a good question. Am I allowed to trust my own conscience now? Yes! Full yes. You are allowed to trust your own conscience. So, those changes, reflect on it as a Jehovah's Witness. Reflect on, why did I follow the old rule? Did I do it out of fear, loyalty, or conviction? What did it cost me? More social isolation. It cost me joy because I missed out great moments in my life. Did it cost me my self-trust? For sure. So start building up your self-trust. If I can toast now, what was the actual harm? Is the organization is it consistent with its reasoning on other issues? So, my advice is reconnect with your inner compass. Instead of asking, what would the elders say? What feels right to me? It's my life. I have to believe it. I have to be convinced about something. So don't put your trust in other people. Start trusting yourself. Rebuild autonomy. What aligns with my values and not just the religious rules? So, toasting, for example, the beards, whatever, it is small on the surface, maybe for us. It's nothing as former Jehovah's Witnesses that we gain now from this, other than something bigger. Because it shows us how easily religious institutions shift their stance on something while accepting followers to obey unquestionably them for years. So grieve, be angry, be skeptical, and grow from this. Let me know what you think about the comments, because I think all these small changes are leading up to bigger things. And that is that more people in the Jehovah's Witness religion will wake up. And I already heard about numerous cases now that this one doesn't feel good and doesn't go good in the congregations. That there's a lot of people complaining now to the elders about this certain thing. And that they are thinking, what else have they wrong? What else is coming? What else did I give up for this organization for nothing? Because it seems insignificant. Oh, you just tick a box that you are active in the ministry. Yeah, but in the old days, we had to work hard. We had to give more than 10 hours a month, 10 or 11 or 12 with return visits for becoming a ministerial servant, for becoming an elder. And now that's all suddenly gone. How do you know only from being active or if someone is qualified to be a ministerial servant or whatever? that rule, that was also a man-made rule, that you have to do at least 10 hours a month to get a position of power in the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now they have young kids are becoming an elder when they are 21, 22 years old. In the old days, if you were 35, maybe that was the age for the elders to become an elder. But in my time, always you thought, oh, I'm only gonna be an elder if I'm 40, 50, 60 years old. It was out of reach, and suddenly it is in reach for someone who isn't even married, has no life experience at all because he lived in a JW bubble. So, and now he's gonna tell you how you have to control your wife in your marriage, what you have to do, that you have to communicate better. They don't even know what communication is. They are not fully grown, and now suddenly they are in charge of a congregation. People the last 50 years worked their asses off to become a ministerial servant or an elder. And now suddenly you get it for free. How does that generation feels about those changes? It seems little, but the effect of these changes will be visible in the next few years within the Jehovah's Witness religion, for sure. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think of it, and we see each other on the next episode.